What's up everyone, 124san's here with another premiere draft of Edge of Eternities. Last week, when the set just released, I played like about 10 games, and outside of the last video, which is a 4-3, I never went past 2-3 for any other runs, and I lost all of my gems, which is not good. Part of it is because I'm just not familiar with the set, and I think I got the vibe of this set pretty wrong. And second is I was a mythic, so my opponents were also pretty good. And on top of that, I was just being unlucky. And adding all three together, that's why I lost so many games in the first 2 days. And then I decided to chill a little bit, and so I didn't play Arena for a week. Then in the weekend, I did some drafts on paper and I won all of them, which is pretty sweet. Without further ado, let's head to the pack 1 pick 2. For pick 1, I just picked the best rare, Warmaker Gunship. This card demolished me in the arena runs. 3 mana for a station that enters and deal damage to something. It's very easy to put artifacts on board, so this will most likely kill something when it enters, and it becomes a 4-3 flying with 6 or more counters. Pretty good card. For pick 2, the best card here is Dynadring Synthesis Amalgam. X green white 01, but it always scales with the amount of mana spent into it. And it draws your card and makes 2/2s when you attack. Pretty strong, but thing to go with the Warmaker Gunship, I'm willing to take a weaker card, Bombard here. For pick 3, red cards, whatever, I think I'm just gonna go with the best green card, which is Galactic Wayfarer. There was also a Galactic Wayfarer in pack 1. I didn't pick it because of the rare, but for this pack, I think I'm just gonna take the Galactic Wayfarer, cutting off green for this pack. And the rare is a 1-mana 2/1 Vigilance. Quite a decent card, but not that exciting for limited. 1-mana 2/1 is still a good card, but I don't think it's better than something like Galactic Wayfarer, where creature size is king in this format. And here we are at pick 4, and we have a super late Wet Walking. This card deserves to be a bomb. 6 mana when it enters. If you cast it, you shuffle your graveyard and your hand to draw 7. And each player gets a free spell every turn. But a free spell for your opponent doesn't matter if they don't have any spells, whereas you're gonna draw 7 and most likely to have stuff to cast afterwards. And yeah, I think I'm actually gonna pick Wet Walking over a good green card like Seaship Argarian, just because Wet Walking is a very good card. Like, you can just play out the target removal, and then Wet Walking just completely reset your hand, and also reset your graveyard, so you don't deck out right away. And if you can bounce Wet Walking to your hand, you're never gonna deck out. For pick 5, the red cards are just not exciting, and I can actually just splash Warmaker Gunship if I'm playing green-blue, so let's go with a pretty good green card in Thawbringer. Still cutting the green for player to our left. Pick 6, Focus Fire is a pretty decent removal. 1 mana can deal a lot of damage. But think we're gonna push into more green with Germinating Worm. Pretty decent card. And pick 7, we have another Germinating Worm, and it's also easily the best card in this pack, I think. Pick 8. Gym Pollinator is a very good card. For ramp, for card effects, and you can tap any permanent, even land, so even if you don't use it to ramp, you can just fix your colors. Pick it over a Class of Balls, which is a pretty cheap removal. But I'm actually not sure if we're playing red. I'm pretty sure we're playing green. Prioritize the green cards first. Pick 9. Kill Ship is a pretty good card if you're going late game over a filler red or a filler blue. Yeah, I think let's go with the Kill Ship. Pick 10. Yeah, I think we go with the Ice Clay Crasher. 4 mana for trample. With landfall, it gets +1/+0, and with more power, you can station your spaceship better. Spacecraft, sorry. Pick 11, Full Bore versus Slag Drill versus Starbush Whale. Think if we can get more out of blue if we lean more to blue, so let's take the whale. Warmaker Gunship can be on a splash. Pick 12, let's just take the red card. We're not gonna play the torpedo. And now we are at pack 2, pick 1. The rare is a 4 mana Spacecraft. Yeah, I think it's unplayable. And the best card here is definitely Dubious Delicacy, but we have 0 black cards right now. I'm gonna pick that. And for green, we have Thawbringer and Drix Fate Maker. Both are decent fillers. Or we take a Mech Navigator to lean more towards blue, and it's also an artifact for Warmaker Gunship. We're splashing that. Or we take a red, but this is more of an aggro card or void card. Don't think our deck synergizes with this well. I think we can have a Mech Navigator. That will be our first 2-drop. Big 2, there's a Galactic Wayfarer and Harmonious Growth Strider. Both are pretty strong. But we already have like 3 5-drops already. So I think a ramp like Galactic Wayfarer will be higher on our radar. Big 3. Terra Pack Intimidator, easily the strongest card in this deck, in this pack. Or we take an Emissary Escort, which can grow bigger if we have other artifacts. This is more of an aggro card though. And we can... are we gonna splash Web Walking if we take these Terra Packs, or we just be safe and take its Cryo Shatter? I think we go with the strongest raw power. Pick 4. There are 3 gold cards here. And there's a Plasma Bolt for cheap removal, or Uthor Scanship for Spacecraft. Or red. If we play red, we also have Bombard. This is not an easy one. I think we just go with Uthor Scanship. I don't like Plasma Bolt with this kind of deck. And pick 5, red is mediocre. And we think we just take a green summon here for 2-drop. And pick 6, we have Sculpting Blast, which is a pretty good interaction, especially you're on the defensive. And there's also a Carton Relic, which is a pretty strong card. And both of these makes artifacts for cards like Warmaker Gunship. I think we go with the Sculpting Blast. Pick 7, this is easily Carton Relic. Pretty strong card, a card draw, and for those decks that want to sacrifice artifacts, this is a very good card to sacrifice. Or you can just pay 2 mana to make something stunned for a turn. And pick 8 is easily Mouth of the Storm, and I think we're gonna solidify in blue-green, splashing for Warmaker Gunship and maybe Bombard. Not even sure if we're splashing Bombard. Pick 9, just gonna pick Self-Craft Mechan. Good with Carton Relic. And I think we go with Chrome Companion, even though it's a pretty filler card. Pick 11, we got Cryo Shadowback. I was already thinking of picking this over a red card. Like, I think it was a pack with Terra Pack Intimidator. And this card eliminates every attacker and blocker in the early game. Pretty sweet. Next we pick 1, Plus of Heroes. This is straight out commander card. And for green, we have Sami's Curiosity and Intrepid Tenderfoot, both pretty filler. Yeah, green is pretty filler for this pack, but we can use a Sami's Curiosity for this kind of deck, I think. Yeah, I think that's pretty sweet. Over a Nutrient Block, which is also pretty decent. Actually, pick 2. All pretty filler, sadly. Texture Warden is just a 4-mana 3/4. Or we pick a 2-mana 2/2, both are pretty filler, or with a neutron block. It works with Sulfur Mechan. I think we go with Tapestry Warden. Do we have anything that works well with it? Works with Starch Beach well, that's pretty much it. And package pick 3. Sea Barbarian is easily the strongest card for us in this pack, I think. We do like removal, but Bombard is not a good removal for this set. Or we can just take a Thoughtbringer, and we do need some 3-drop, but I feel like Sea Barbarian is quite strong. I'm willing to take. And for pick 4, we have another Discovery Blast for early game interaction. Yeah, pretty like this for the stack. Pick 5, we have Close Encounter for a hard removal that this deck lacks. Over... I think nothing else really, let's just take the Close Encounter. Pick 6, Never Disaster, Nanoform Sentinel, and Shadow Wings. Nanoform Sentinel is a pretty good card when you can use it to station spacecraft like Ultho Scanship and Pinnacle Killship. And I don't think I'm gonna take anything else here. Pick 7, we got a Cryogen Relic versus Biosynthetic Burst. Both are pretty strong card. A Cryogen Relic makes Gunshake better. I think we go with that. Pick 8. We can definitely play a Lost in Space over Unknown on Splash. Unknown is more of an aggro card. Pick 9, nothing for us here. Take a Divert Disaster, don't think we'll play it. Pick 10, pick a Mechanozoa. I think we don't play that many Spell Breach well. Nanoform Sentinel. And not gonna play anything here. And now we are going to cut. Definitely gonna cut the Bombard because it's on a splash. We're only splashing for Warmaker Gunship, playing 1 mountain. And more. I think we play with more green than blue. Because we can use our green to get blue. 46 out of 40, so we need to cut 6 cards. I think we cut all the Star Beach well. We have Germinating Worm doing that. We're ramping into Mouth of the Storm, and Pinnacle Killship, and also Web Working, good for this deck. Discovering Blast is very crucial for this deck to gain some tempo. Intrepid Tenderfoot is quite weak, but it is a menacing. Prompt Companion is pretty weak. Are we splashing Pax Intimidator? It's not that strong if you don't cast it on turn 2, and we're not gonna cast it on turn 2, so nope. Still cutting 4 more cards. We're cutting a 3, so one Nanoform Sentinel can go away. I think I like all the other 3, so we're cutting 4. Let's cut the Tapestry Warden, because the other 4 drops are better in my opinion. We also have a Lost in Space for interaction. We still need to cut 2 more. Maybe we cut the Mechanozoa, then we cut 1 more. Sami's Curiosity. Do we cut this? We have 2 Galactic Wayfarer. And I think this and a Gene Pollinator, and that's pretty much it for ramp. I do like to play a copy of Sami's Curiosity. Also kinda like 2 copies of Cryogen Relic here. Yeah, the last cut would be a tough one. We cannot cut a land, because we do care about late game, especially with cards like Web Walking. We're not cutting any interactions. We just cut a Nanoform Sentinel. Or we just cut a Cryogen Relic. it does make the current trade better. Because we are not sacrificing any artifacts today. And if we have gone to the web walking, well, we don't need that much. Or we just cut Intrepid Tenderfoot. Don't think we're gonna sink mana into this when we are gonna web walk, card Gen Relic, draw more cards, revoke Scanship, draw more cards, and cast our other stuff. I think this is a pretty decent 40. Playing blue-green, sadly without the signpost at 2 mana. And also splashing for Warmaker Gunship, which can do some damage. And becomes a flying later on. So yeah, here's the deck, and let's head to the gameplay. Alright, here we are in game 1. We start with absolutely nothing on 2 and 3 into a Scanship on 4. Very slow hand. But if I keep in this means I'm super greedy. Let's see if we're gonna get backfired, and we are just gonna get backfired. Oh well. They play a 1 and a 2-1 into our do nothing every single turn. So we're just gonna get Shreked. Cards like this Sculpting Blast will be very good right now. Get rid of their attacker and we get a 1-1 that used to be used to station. Alright, they didn't play a 2-drop at least, and we draw another land. Oh, what a slow hand. At least they only played 1 more power to the board. So we're not getting hurt as much. But still, this is not ideal. And they are eating the nutrient block, which is perfectly fine for us. And maybe they do have land drop and they're playing 3 colors. That's fine. I think we're just gonna Ultra Scanship right now to have more option later. Draw into a Germinating Worm that we can just use to warp and close encounter. If we just play this creature outright, we're suffering from a graph kill. We're still suffering from a graph kill because they leave off their mana open. So I'm not even gonna close encounter right now. Unless they use a graph kill on the warped Germinating Worm. Oh, I can. Oh, it doesn't actually matter. I can just close encounter with this one exile. I can just hold up the 2 mana. And even if they use removal on close encounter, the close encounter is still gonna do damage. I think we're gonna take damage from the board, and the close encounter, whatever bigger thing they play. That's the plan. And next turn, we play the Germinating Worm, and also Scanship will be a creature. Yep, Fungal Colossus dies into a close encounter. Big fan of that. Alright, get rid of that. And we also have Galactic Wayfarer that we can play right now. But if we play next turn, we can hold out Lost in Slaves. So let's do that next turn. This turn, play a Germinating Worm. Evasion and attack, not even gonna block because they only have 3 power on the board. Alright, now we're doing better after the close encounter. And the splash green for Fungal Colossus is definitely not it. They're definitely splashing for other stuff. Just not sure what they have. Don't strike Vanguard. And yeah, just look at this and the Lightstar Inquisitor, they are not doing well together because of Vigilance. Play a Galactic Wayfarer, get a lander, attack in the air for 4 and pass. Just gonna Lost in Space this Don't Strike Vanguard. Like if they use a metric, or if they pay 4 mana for Starport Security just to get an attack in. We're playing Hanser, yep, that's good. Because We're gonna have Lost in Space, the Dawnstrike Vanguard. And if they don't tap this, I'm just gonna... I can also just double block here and bait out their interaction. And I'm also good for a trade. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, damage? Sure. In that case, I just hold this Lost in Space in hand. Or I can just Lost in Space the lifestyle in... If I did that, I should have done it earlier. Oh well. Because now I took 3 more damage and I can still block that, regardless. As I just crack the lander. Gets our red out of the way. And I don't think we are attacking next turn. Mecha Navigator, that's fine. And we still have to play this Galactic Wayfarer out so that we have mana for Lost in Space. Gonna do that. And let's go to combat first to see if they're gonna start for security the scan ship. They're doing it, that's fine. If we attack, they tap here. If they tap here, they cannot do that. I think we can still attack. Should be pretty safe. If they put more power and toughness on Lifestyle Inquisitor, with a card from their hand, I can just Lost in Space that. I'm fine for trade. And I can just Lost in Space the Weft Blade Enhancer. After they play it this turn, I think. I think I'm just gonna do it now. If they just play that. And the Surveil one's gonna help. They play the Weft Blade, they put 2 counters of stuff. We get rid of that. Timeless Curiosity, that doesn't do anything right now. Biogen Relic, that's a very good card to draw. And if we draw a land, we just attack with Mecha Navigator. I think this is basically equal. This is basically equal to a land. Or so, do we actually just crack the lander right now? We do have a 7-drop. So if we crack the land right now and draw a 7-drop, we cannot use it. We cannot use it right now. And we attack with these 2, or if we attack with 3, we're gonna take 2, or take 3. They did put it in here for some reason. Let's just attack with 2. Yep, gonna discard this. And before we Sawbringer, we're gonna crack the lander. Just to make sure we can surveil. And then surveil 1, that's going away. And that'll be good. Kind of surprised to see they put this on the bottom. Don't know what they have in their hand. Probably something better than that. Those two attackers. I'm blocking that. If I double block, don't think I'm. Maybe if it's a dual suns technique, then this is a better. Oh, board wipe? That is a board wipe to me. In that case, we have a draw one. But yeah. Or that, sure. If they just want to trigger a void. Be my guest. Lose one, draw two cards. And we can, I think we're just gonna draw the Cryogen Relic card right now, instead of having the stun counter value. Yep, that's fine. Yep, we draw a card. It's a Pinnacle Kill Ship that we can just play right now, and still have a Germinating Worm Warp. Pretty good turn. Or do we have enough damage on board? 8, 11, yeah. That's actually just lethal. Oh, this one's pretty smooth. I keep a very greedy hand at start. Plays nothing in the first 2 turns, and they do have a 1 mana 2/1, but they don't have anything else after that. They have a new trim block, and that basically saved us. If they have an actual 2-drop, 3-drop, we're gonna get smoked so hard. And not sure what they're playing with the forest. Definitely not just Fungal Colossus. Anyways, we take those 1-0 heading into game 2. Alright, game 2, starting with Gene Pollinator, but this card fixes us, so we can just play the Mecha Navigator on turn 2 and then start looting our hands away. But this hand works as long as I don't easily remove on turn 1. So let's just hope they don't play a Scene Reap or a Plasma Bolt. Alright, that's great, nice. In that case, we just play that. And then we can play a 3-drop on if we don't draw land. Eumedian Terra Botanist, we draw a land, so we can actually play a 4-drop here. And another sweet thing is that we're gonna draw and discard. We do need more lands for Moth of the Storm, but I think we can discard the land because we're gonna Sculpting Blast next turn, and we also have Closed Encounter. Yeah, let's just discard Forest. Close Encounter, destroy something. And this Sculpting Blast, bounce their attacker, if they have any. And yeah, we're gonna Close Encounter the Thoughtbringer, so we have a good attack. Drew a island. So we're playing the island for this turn, that's for sure. And we're gonna tap this for mana. Sami, easy discard. Close Encounter that. Well, if we Sami, we're gonna hit 5 lands next turn. But I think this is good enough. And the one problem we're having is not enough cards. That's why we have 2 of the 2-mana artifacts that draw small cards. And we're gonna Sculpting Blast if they attack with this. And we can even do that if we can also do that on our turn if they play something and try to double block this Crasher. Execute Savior, that's fine. They're gonna return Forest, yes, so they have 1 more mana. That means they don't have any lands in their hand. So landfall trigger. Alright, if you're attacking, that means I can Scalping Blast you and get a 1-1. Gene Pollinator. We did draw another land. I think I'm gonna attack into the Gene Pollinator because they were already lacking lands to begin with. I didn't play a land beforehand. That's like 1 less damage. Just in case we're discarding this land though. Yeah, we can discard this land and play the Warmaker Gunship to blow up whatever they have left. Because we have 2 artifacts, yeah. Discarding land is the better play here. And we went through regardless. Second question. What are we blowing up? Gene Pollinator or Exosuit? They are lacking mana, but if we blow Exosuit, Drone will be a good attack. Oh, actually I have 3. Exosuit's blocking Drone, but Drone can also just tap this. I think we blow the Gene Pollinator actually. Because even if we cannot attack with the drone, we can still just... Alright, we had a Radiant Strike. Pretty good for them. Getting life, destroying our biggest threat on the board. And they are gonna attack... If they attack, they also enable our board to attack. If we drew something like Germinating Worm, I can just warp that. Lost in Space. We can Lost in Space that and have a... Or we can just Lost in Space on their turn. Let's see what we get with this first. Are we ever gonna reach Mouth of the Storm? I don't think we are gonna reach Mouth of the Storm by how we are playing. So we actually just gonna ditch this. And we can actually do this. Get a 6, get a 4/3, and we still have 2 mana for the Lander token. That's how you squeeze out value. And even when if we discard Mouth of the Storm, we can still try to get Web Walking, which is instantly refill our hand. And we have very huge advantage on board right now. Yeah, land first, so they play the Auxiliary Boosters, which just gonna walk right into our Lost in Space. Pretty big fan of that. But first, let's just activate the Lander. We're not doing anything else anyways. Yeah, just gonna land Lost in Space a token and we are golden. Drew a land, but we can just discard that. Big fan. And we can surveil 1 to get rid of that. Thank you pretty much. If we attack with everything, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1. If they block a 1, that's exactly lethal, so they have to block everything if we attack here. They have to block either a 2 or a champ, yeah, like that. We did lost our only source of filtering, but they're down to 1. We are basically just losing to a board wipe, which can happen. If they cast a board wipe here, they can stabilize with immediate Terrabotanist, but I am not playing around the board wipe. It's a Night Luminary for Warp. It doesn't do anything for them. They can save this game right now. And Master Resolve, fight something. And they only have 2 mana left, and yeah. Pretty sweet. We didn't cast any of our big things, but we are basically the aggressor of this matchup. And the Mecha Navigator carried the entire game. And also, Gene Pollinator allowing us to cast the Mecha Navigator to begin with, and also hit the splash color for War Maker Gunship. Oh, pretty sweet showcase of this deck. Heading into game 3. Alright, now we are at game 3, starting with turn 2 draw cards, or you can just Germinating Worm onto, so our Closing Counter can do damage. Very decent hand. And we have a 3-drop lining up, nice. I think without a spaceship, I'm leaning towards Cryogen Relic first. Because if we draw into a spaceship, Germinating Worm would be better. And seeing one more card with Cryogen Relic also gives us more options. And they are doing the same thing, nice. And they played a Super Tap Land, which is pretty decent in this format because you can tap everything. And now we're just gonna play the Galactic Wayfarer and a Crackhead next turn to hit our ramp. Not gonna cast Web Walking until my hand is dried up, of course. So next turn we're not playing Thorbringer. I think we're just gonna do the Lander and maybe Closing Counter. Or Cryogen Relic. Self-Craft Mechan. Eats Cryogen Relic, draw 2 cards, put a counter on itself, so it's a 4/5, which means they can instantly station this Worm Wall Sweeper. If that's their plan, I have to respond to the board, otherwise... Or actually, no. I have a Cryogen Relic, which can lock this down for 1 more turn. And I can still ramp with the Lander. Yeah, I like that plan a little bit more. And next time I can Ice Cave Pressure, play a land, and Closing Counter like that, instead of warp this Germinating Worm. We have a Scalping Blast also, nice. But don't think we're gonna Scalp Blasting that. Gonna crack the Lander so we get more mana for next turn. And also hits our Splash. And Manon, Uthor's Exile. The Scalding Blast gonna do wonders against that. Yeah, you can attack. Yeah, if they don't tap out, I'm actually gonna be scared of a counter spell there. Yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna crack this. Or a Splash, and you can have your Cereal too. And they're just gonna put more counters for giggles. And for this turn, we just gonna Ice Cave Pressure, Landfall, and Closing Counter the 4/5. Oh no, nope. You target their creature, choose our own creature. 5 damage. And for 3. We have more damage on board right now. And then I think we're gonna, if we draw a land, we can Germinating Worm and hold up the Scalping Blast. I like that plan. And their Manon is on a Splash, looks like. If we don't draw a land though, okay, that's Summon Torpedo is gonna blow this Ice Cave Pressure for 3 mana. Or they're not gonna. If they're not gonna use it right now. In that case, I think I'm just gonna prematurely bounce that. But for this turn, gonna play a Starbreaker for Seville. Attack out on the ground for damage. Sea Barbarian, we don't need cards like this. Alendra will be good actually. Attack with awe. And I need to Discovering Blast before declaring attackers, so that they don't get a 3 mana Somaton Torpedo. Or we can just bounce right now, so they don't have any counter spells. But maybe they have a fight spell, and if they have a fight spell, this is gonna do wonders. Definitely gonna be careful before they declare attacker. If Somaton Torpedo costs 3... Oh wait, if Somaton Torpedo costs 3, 1, 2, 3, then they only have 4 mana afterwards. If I get a 1/1, I'm not gonna attack with that anyways, so that's actually just gonna Discard Blast right now. So yeah, cost 3 less if you attack with the Spacecraft this turn. Not gonna give you that. And they have 7 mana for a Survey Mechon. We didn't draw into a land, so we gonna... I think we have to play the Germinating Worm. Unless our Thorbringer is dying and we know we have a land on top, so let's actually attack first. And Survey Mechon is gonna block, probably gonna block here and blow out the other to prevent taking much damage. If they don't want to give the Surveil value, they can block the Thorbringer, blow up the Galactic. In that case, I just have to play the Germinating Worm for 5. But if we have any big combat trick, this will be very good. Sadly, we don't have any. Yep, that's exactly what they're doing. That's fine. You can have your card draw, you can have your life gain. Just gonna play a Germinating Worm, which is the biggest creature I can play. I'm not gonna risk not drawing into a land with Guardian Relic. Guardian Relic, that can be used to lock down an attacker. Pretty good for them. Yep, locks down Ice Phase Pressure, draws 1 more card. And then they can play the World Sweeper for another counter. And with a lot of counters, MNL is gonna be... Or that. That's a big blocker with reach. We drew a forest. But we're gonna dump our hand first. Guardian Relic, draw a card. Warmaker Gunship. This hits for 2, which means nothing. This hits nothing on the board right now. So let's just... But that's actually a flyer. So if we attack with Germinating Worm, we can play the Gunship, play the Navigator, and then blow up this Predator. Oh, and we can actually attack with both. We attack with both if they block like this. If they block like this, I still have to 3 damage by playing this and that. Yep. That's a better plan. Yeah, and I really like to see a trade like this. Do we like a forest? With Wealth Walking in hand, is actually fine, but... And we play the Mecha Navigator. Play the Warmaker Gunship, blow that up. Oh, and discard. Kill Ship is a very good card, but it doesn't provide any power and toughness to the board. And if they have a lot of removals, Kill Ship's gonna do nothing. But we can't just auto win next turn. That's also another concern. I think we can still get rid of Kill Ship. It just doesn't work. Work with what's in hand on board. if we have actual creatures like Germinating Worm, we can put more fresh counters on Gunship. And if everything didn't work out, we still have a Weft Walking. We get a fresh hand of 7. Glacial Godmaw. When it enters, make a land token. Vigilance and haste. Not even gonna attack? That's a free attack. I mean. They pass on a free attack. And we hit a Scalping Blast. Alright, I'm a big fan of that. And I don't think they can stop us now. Play this normally. Even if they have a counter spell, it's still lethal for 6. And then station for 5. So we have 3 attackers. And it's lethal unless they remove 2 things. Or unless if it is a Scalping Blast targeting this and block that. Oh, and turns out that's exactly what they have. Nice, nice. But yeah, we still get attacking, and they're gonna replay Glacial Godmaw, it looks like. And that will be a moment to strike. Sprout, or they play two blockers. That's also good. Salvage Well. A Salvage Well is not good against Germinating Worm. Brugard Elite. If we attack with everything, they can eat, chomp, or eat, chomp, and there's only 2 going there. Yeah, that's not gonna be great. I think we try to reach for more options by drawing first, even if that means we don't get the value on stun counter. Or we can just tap the Mecha Navigator, but that'll be a second thing I'm doing. I'm doing this first because if this can attack, there's more damage. Station. I don't need Sammy's Curiosity at this day and age. And if you attack with Germinating Worm, we can just trade into the Starbridge Well. Or they chump block and get a big thing, but I think I'll be doing good against big thing. And I also have the option to decide to Weft Walking next turn. If I play the Galactic Wayfarer. And here Lander token. But Ice Cave Crasher can do more damage. I don't know what's the better play, but I prefer this one. Having a trample attacker is pretty huge. And they can plan for a surprise victory with the Glacial Godmaw. In that case, I have to block. I mean, I need to be careful of that, for sure. And the best thing about Godmaw is it has Vigilance. But they're not losing much with attacking. Garbage Well, number 2. Tanuk Memorial Ensign. Alright, they're just gonna have a whiteboard state. And if we attack with everything, we're gonna do 2 damage. So if our Weft Walking plan succeeds by drawing into a Scalping Blast, which are both in the graveyard, we just win on the spot. So let's go for that plan. Yep, we drew into a Scalping Blast. That's what I what I planned around. We bounce the 5/7 and attack with awe. And it should be just victory. Alright, there is some RNG involved, but whew. Well, unless they, what if they have 1 mana thing? Let's actually check out what they're doing here. Alright, they don't. Oh, sweet! Oh, I finally break the 2 speakers. 3-0, heading to game 4. Alright, here we are, game 4. 3-0 so far so good. Turn 1, we have a Gene Pollinator and a Descoping Blast after. We do need to draw another land, but if we can manage to get a token from Descoping Blast, we can cast Galactic Wayfarer even without drawing land. I'm gonna risk keeping this. And they play an Ultra Tap land, but we naturally draw a land regardless. So let's just attack for 1 and pass. Next turn is just gonna be Galactic Wayfarer. Yeah. And 124san's now has some pretty good synergy with Gene Pollinator. I wish I can counter that, sadly we cannot. 2 mana 1/3, when it enters, make a lander, and when they sack up artifact, deals 2. It hurts a lot. Not gonna lie. This only untaps another target permanent. If I play this, I cannot untap anything else. So it's just gonna be a Galactic Wayfarer and pass. We technically have 1 mana up, but we don't have anything to cast. Hopefully we draw a land next turn. We're gonna crack it right now. We take 2. If they have more lander tokens for later, this is gonna hurt a lot. Plasma Balls for 3. Yeah, that's why they did it. Makes sense. Didn't draw into a land, but we drew a Warmaker Gunship, which can deal with the specialist right now. Or if we play the Nanoform Sentinel, we get 2 more mana afterwards. But we have to tap a lander for mana, and if we tap a lander for mana, we cannot sack. So let's just Warmaker Gunship. Or we can still just cast a Galactic Wayfarer to pump up the artifact count. 1/3 isn't doing much right now anyways. And now Warmaker Gunship hits for 4. Yeah, splashing a lot. Commander Bridge and 3 types of basics. Biomechan Engineer. Yeah, that's annoying. And yep, that's another 3 damage. 3/2 damage. Fire Shatter, that's what we got, but don't think it does much. And we just do the Gunship, and mana is really weird. Or we can just do the Nanoform Sentinel. Tap this for mana and guarantees a lander. We can still attack with Galactic Wayfarer first. If they double block, I just... Oh, but if they double block, this is not gonna look good. Or we can play the Ortho Scanship, which... I think this is better, actually. We play the Scanship, we draw to discard 1, most likely hits a land. I speak too soon. This is tough. Not drawing any single lands in like how many cards? Oh yeah, my luck tend to be like this. But at least the attack for 3. At least it's after me being 3-0, and yep. Draw into another non-land. Warmaker Gunship can deal with Galactic Wayfarer. Or the Remnants Eternal. And play Cryo Shatter on the other creature. Feels like it's a better idea to play the Mecha Navigator because need to draw a land, and it's not a land. Wow, that's like how many cards? So, can someone tell me? We can Cryo Shatter something. Or we can just Desculpting Blast. Hold out Desculpting Blast. I think that's actually a bad idea. And not gonna attack because we're gonna lose so much life total from attacking. Fire Attack Specialist just did 6 damage in this game already. I don't like that. And not drawing any land is very bad. But we're still managing. Orbital Plunge. Alright. Cannot deal with that. Like your Scrapper. I think we have to bounce the Galactic Wayfarer. Even though... Let's block this first. Even though this is gonna give them more value, we cannot afford losing more. Cannot afford losing more life total here. And yep, next one is also not a land. Let's just tap this first, actually. And next time is finally a land, like after like 1,000 years already. Damn. Sea Ship Hungarian, Nano say no. I want to keep all of them, but I cannot. I need to deal with Biomechan Engineer at some point, which is on now. I think just gonna get rid of Lost in Space. So awkward to use. And we can play the Sea Ship Hungarian and the Cryo Shatter the Remnant Elemental. This is the best removal against this card. And we need to deal with the Biomechan Engineer when they reach 8 mana. Just gonna attack with everything. Yeah, that's like 4 damage from just from the Lander token alone. And Slack Scrapper can also sacrifice any artifacts for land to draw card. They are just gonna do the sack. Deals a lot of damage. And they have another Lander token at the ready. Need to deal with that as well. So there's actually a reason to deal with the Biotech Specialist instead of Biomechan Engineer. Sacrifice another artifact. They don't have any artifact yet. They only have a Galactic Wayfarer from here. But if we get rid of this, all of our attack because of good attacks, if we are attacking that is. I'm definitely playing this. Blow up something. I think we blow up Biotech Specialist. If they spend 8 mana for Biomechan, that's way too slow for them. Play the 124 Sentinel. So we can tap this to untap something after that. But first, let's just attack with everything. Or is that... They don't have any damage on board. I think it's rather safe to do so. Maybe I should discard Wife Walking, but... Yep, they are gonna double block that, sure. Totally fine with that. Tap this, untap. If we untap this, we get 1 mana. 1 mana doesn't do anything. If we untap this, we get a loot, but we don't have a and for loot. So with this, we get like a bunch of lander tokens and a War Maker gunship. Glacier God Maw. Okay, the best thing. Alright. They didn't play a land. If they play a land, this can be very bad for us, but they didn't. Good. And we have a close encounter. Gonna hold up Gene Pollinator, attack all. Actually, if I attack all, I can untap Seaship Agrarian. And I can use Seaship Agrarian for blocks. And actually, no. I have 6 mana ready, so I can just do crack, and close encounter that before they can do anything. That's a better plan, actually. Red. Yep, that's a counter. And green, that's counter number 2. Close encounter, target that creature, pay the mana. Not that. Undo. Pay the mana, tap this lander token. Choose this. Fight that. Combat. Attack with all. Untaps a creature. And they can chump block this. We do a bunch of damage. And we are not dead from Glacier Goma top deck. And yep, that's it. Oh boy. Oh, we made it after not drawing lands for like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 turns. But yeah, they didn't draw lands either. They have to rely on the lander tokens, which did a lot of damage to us. But yeah, we got there. Pretty sweet, 4-0 heading into game 5. Alright, here's game 5. We start with a mono green, but if it's just like the one of the games we had before, if Gene Pollinator is alive, we can play Mecha Navigator on 2 and we are good afterwards. So just hope opponent doesn't have any turn 1 removal against this. If they have, this hand's gonna be bad until I draw a island. Red. It taps for red, but it's tap, so we're good to go. Mecha Navigator and pass. And now we can just start looting. And actually, I can just play Seaship Agrarian on 3 if Mecha Navigator is alive. Hopefully this. They are playing 3 colors, which is not what you want to do in this format. Usually, they get rid of the color fixing because they know I got color issue, but we naturally draw island. And the Scalping Blast. I think we get rid of Pin and Kill Ship. It's like not sure when we're gonna get mana for that. So I need to be prepared for not drawing a land. Gene Pollinator. I think I'm gonna resolve, give them the counters and bounce that. And then I think I prefer just trading to that. We get a loot value and discard the extra lands we just draw. Yeah, suddenly we are drawing lands. They let us through because they like this Gene Pollinator. Play this Seaship Agrarian. And if they replay the Terrapack Intimidator and don't do anything special, we should be good. But if they orbital plunge that, it's bad. And they still like their Gene Pollinator, so they attacked. I can Cryo Shatter that, but let's attack first before doing anything rash. We got a Nanoform Sentinel that I'm gonna play here. Discard the land. We can still Cryo Shatter that, but Regardless, they will get one mana worth of stuff. So I think I kind of prefer cryo shattering the terror packs actually. Let's just hold on to the cryo shatter. But they actually have mana issues, so there's also a reason to just cryo shatter that, but they have a lander fixed mana. Yep, they're gonna play like this. I give you the counters. We can redraw Close Encounter, that means we can get rid of both of these at once. So Close Encounter, Sea Ship Agarian, and Cryo Shatter Terror Pact. I think that's the plan. And attack with all. If we draw a card at advantage, don't think I want to untap Mechan Navigator. We can untap the island actually. Yeah, if I draw Cryogen Relic, I'm gonna play that. This guy lost in space. We need card advantage right here. And we need it badly. But if we draw a land here, do I play it? No, that's not land. Draw a Mouth of the Storm, which we cannot play. Only 4 lands. Used up a lot of cards already. Cavland Seeker, pretty good card. Gets a temporary lander token. Germinating, we can't germinating anything. If I attack all, they're just gonna eat the Mecha Navigator. I think I just draw a card right now. Maybe we draw something that we can play right away. The house push the life total. Drew a mountain. We are definitely playing the mountain. And trading Nana for Sentinel into that Cavalier Seeker is very good. Unless they have a trick. Don't play a mountain. I'm just gonna warp this Germinating Worm for 2. And they will sack their temporary land token for this turn. If we draw land and land next turn, it's actually not bad because we can cast Mouth of the Storm. And they also have Lava Claw Riches, which is actually active as long as they have Gene Pollinator untapped. I'm going to keep up. My Form Harmonizer. Alright, that card is nasty, but at least it trades with Germinating Worm. Drew a Samis. Samis doesn't do a lot, so let's just play the Germinating Worm and pass. If they use Lander token, it becomes 8, becomes 16. At least it doesn't have trample, so, and Germinating Worm always trades into that. Orbital Plunge, oh, that's bad. They can attack for 8. I think I let the 8 through. They're not gonna even let it be an 8, sure. Kind of that. I can choose to attack or tap for the ship, but I don't dislike the idea of attacking, But they have 3 mana up. Let's just ship right now, actually. I know I'm playing a ship for sure. I'm still gonna lose to instant speed removal, but I'll take the risk. Right, no instant speed removal. And now then. I think I should tap for the ship instead of attacking. Web walking, that's like way too late for this. But I think I can discard Moth. I'm not gonna get Moth of some mana soon, so let's just discard that, play Simon's Curiosity and pass. And 8. We actually just lose, actually. If they have a landfall, 8, 16, yeah. I didn't plan around that, but I'll have to take a risk sometimes, and didn't work out this time. But yeah, I said I'm gonna take serious risk, but I wasn't actually thinking of they just like outright have lethal on board. If they just naturally have a land drop and then do a double landfall from the 2 landers. Anyways, 4-1, heading into game 6. Mono green, and yeah, unkeepable. Mono blue with 2 playable cards. Let's just risk this. Not going lower than this. This hand just becomes infinite better when we drew our first forest. And we didn't, but we drew a card that we can play right now. Hopefully that draws some forest, and that's not a forest, but still a land. We still can have chance. And we can just crack the Cryogen Relic. More clear modifier. Drew a mountain. If I Cryo Shatter, that still provides passive value every turn, so I'm not gonna do that. I think just gonna play a land, Nanoform Sentinel this turn, take the 3. This is a very bad target for Cryo Shatter. Yeah, that attacks with 3, but I'm also attacking with 3. So if my creature is alive, then... Or if they just have like no creatures, that's fine too. Right now, let's just crack this Cryogen Relic. Draw a card, hopefully draw green. A green would be nice here. That's not a green. In that case, we just attack and pass. And I can actually Cryo Shatter and then... Oh no, it doesn't work. It's already tapped. I'm not actually tapping their stuff. Plasma Bolt. We can Discovering Blast this. But... looks like they have like removals, just removals in their hand. In that case, it's actually not bad for us. When we play the Galactic Wayfarer, it's fine if that is a removal, and bounce their Molecular Modifier when they attack. Or we can crack the lander. Yep, they do have a removal. Removal central. And this removal that doesn't kill Soulbringer. Oh well. That's fine. I think we can actually take this 3 and just crack a lander. And that's a very good Cryo Shatter target. Definitely gonna target that. And we didn't draw a land. A land will be a decent draw for this one, but well. Terminating Worm, gain life, Cryo Shatter that. So it's neutralized, basically. And if they only have removals, we should be doing good. If they attack, I'm not gonna block. And I can actually leave up this Going Blast for the combat trick they're gonna play next turn. Instead of Skidamaw, that doesn't do anything. And we draw a land, which means we can play a Marvel of the Storm and neutralize their entire board. Or we can play a Kill Ship. But this is way too low for Kill Ship. I think we just play the Marvel of the Storm actually. Not like they can counter this. And then neutralize their entire turn of attacking. So we are free to attack now. Yep, get a 5 damage. And a Marvelous Stone on the blocks. Now I'm... They're not gonna attack this turn, right? -1 attack. The next turn, I have the option of Pinnacle Kill Ship or Sculpting. Yeah, that's eating a Kill Ship easily. But they're just gonna Cryo Shatter this, trigger, for counters. I'm fine with that. Drew a land, and it's fine. We're just gonna Kill Ship that 5/6 and attack all. They're gonna chump block. Alright, big fan of that. And if they use removal on Marvel Storm, they cannot cast anything else basically. And then we have a Pinnacle Kill Ship, 7/7 flying, which can be stationed by Thoughtbringer and Germinating Worm, so we should be good here. Unless they have something really crazy. Mono Second Feeder, that's only -1 and +1. Doesn't do a cold lot, and yeah. They're dead in so many ways. Let's just blast this. And attack for game. Alright. This one's pretty smooth. They have a lot of removals, but our deck is pretty good against that. Like with this, draw 2 cards. This is basically 2 cards value. Get a lander and it's a 3/3. And yeah. Now we are at 5-1 heading into game 6. Oh no, game 7. We just finished game 6. Alright, here's game 7. Starting with 2 lander, but Quadrant Relic can help us draw a card. And with that reason, I think I'm gonna keep this. Ideally, draw into a land in like next 3 draws will be fine. And this is not a land, so we play a Quadrant Relic. Hopefully we draw a land in the next one or next 2. Alright, still no lands. Blooming Stinger, just a 2/2, and we drew a land at last. Then now we play Thoughtbringer to help us draw more lands. Yep, there's a land, so keep. Even though we don't have any mana for Warmaker Gunship, which is fine. Intrepid Tenderfoot. And they're just on blocks, which is fine. I cannot hold up mana for this Goblin Blast if I draw with Quadrant Relic here. I think I'm just gonna Germinating Worm for 2. This doesn't do a whole lot, but I think this is safest, and leave both out for blocks. So if they dare to use a fight removal or a combat trick during combat, I just blast them. Well, here goes my Thoughtbringer, but we got a Surveil, not the worst. Cryo Shatter, you are not a land, so get out of here. And Death Toucher. I think I bounce the Death Toucher. And now we draw a land. Nice. This is a sequence I like. Although Death Toucher plays super good against Germinating Worm, cannot help that. And without a second blue source, We cannot play Sentinel and crack Crouch and Relic at the same turn. But at least we have a 1/1 draw that can just attack every turn. If we somehow draw the forest, we can use the Markmaker Gunship to blow up this Blooming Stinger and attack for big damage. That'll be pretty nice. And if they have Fight Spell, they're going to use it right now. And they should have used it on this, so they can actually get an untapped creature. But I'll take that. And now we have a lander. Lander can get us a red. I think I'm getting a red here. And I'm definitely cracking a lander. Uh-oh, Stinky! Their entire board is getting bumped. But at least it is not totally out of control yet. Actually, no, it is. If I crack this for a... Wait, actually, if I crack this for red, I can play another Sentinel and this, so I still will do 4. Are they gonna attack? Second question. They are not gonna attack, fine. Alright, so now let's hope they don't have a combat trick for the Ouroboros. If they have, I just instantly lose this game. No doubt. So we don't have enough for Warmaker Gunship. What we're gonna do here is Nanoform. Warmaker deals 4 damage now. So hopefully they don't have any tricks. They don't. Nice. Alright. Crisis averted. And now we can just Galactic Nanoform. We can untap a land actually, and that will unlock the Cauldron Relic. Big fan of that. And if they attack, I just like further lock down whatever is attacking. Getting a little bit of value out of Cauldron Relic. Sky Stinger. A reach blocker for the Warmaker Gunship. And that has a Mana Sink, which is super relevant. Yeah, I think I'm glad to lock down anything. You get a card draw here. Close Encounter. That's a very good draw because we can blow up the Sky Stinger. And I don't care about the Intrepid Tenderfoot if we can just fly over them. Okay, a Germinating Worm because it's the biggest. And if I attack with everything, I just feed him a creature. Or actually, I should have used a removal on Intrepid Tenderfoot because it unlocks better attacks. And this is gonna be a big creature. Activating twice makes it block Germinating Worm. They are gonna attack. Do they have a board wipe? This is not a good attack. I'm just gonna let it through. Or is that just for doing quests? Alright, they play like Cavern Skywarden. And we have lethal with this top deck Q ship. Sweet. Oh, we are doing pretty good so far. I mean, so far, and I say so far, but it's like already at the end. Now we are at 6-1, heading into game 8. Alright, here's game 8. Can be our final game if we just win this. And to the Scorpion Blast. Huh. A very strange hand. They take a mulligan. So we can just take the mulligan with them. I think that's actually a good idea. Second hand, Gene Pioneer turn 1. Nothing on 2, but pretty good hand. It's gonna bottom this Thawbringer, even though it's a good creature. Cannot play anything on 2, sadly. Outside of Germinating Worm Warp, that is. And then we draw a land. That makes me regret pulling back the 3-mana 4-2, but you're fine. Not gonna block that, because Gene Pollinator is way too important. And I have a Starfighter Pilot for the aggro curve. Draw a Warp Walking, which is gonna be important later on, but not now. For this turn, it's just gonna warp and pass. Next turn is Galactic Wayfarer. don't think I can definitely train to the whole cover if I want to, but that's like one less mana for white walking. Not my cup of tea, actually. You can have your one more damage every turn. And when they don't have much cards, so it is burn removal on this, that we'll have the white walking mana ready. And for this turn, just Mountain and a Galactic. Need to get a blue source. I'm not gonna block, so let's just attack actually. I didn't play anything on 3, which is good. Requiem Monolith. Oh well, that is their card draw. At least they are not attacking, but drawing a card every turn is not good. Or they can attack with this and draw more cards with that. They have the option to do that. They draw 3 cards actually if I just block here. Alright, they didn't attack. Good. And now we have the option to... We can play a Worm, or we can just play Sami and then boop boop, suddenly 2 more lands. I think I like Sami more here, because we can tap 2 mana, crack 1, tap the Galactic Wayfarer for the mana to crack the other. Both gonna be for the blue source. Requiem Monolith is gonna be annoying, especially for the white walking. Because that means they will have the cards to cast 3 spells from white walking. At least that actually hurts them every turn. So they're not just getting the card for free. Now Star Expansionist. Yeah, you have 5 lands. And now we just crack 1 and crack 2. Get our blue source ready. And then we draw a land. And for this turn, I think I'm just gonna go kill ship the Sunstar and tap our entire board. I like the... Or I can get rid of a Starfire Pilot so they don't have the Veil value. Something to consider. This is only attacking for 3 a turn, so actually let's get rid of Starfire Pilot. Get this, get that. Because if we're gonna tap our entire board to this kill ship, they have a free attack with the Starfire Pilot. Not gonna give them the surveil value when they're already drawing a lot of cards. But this is at the cost of taking more damage, of course. And I think I can still cast a white walking. They leave the card behind for the block on Galactic Wayfarer, understandable. And maybe they leave out the mana for an instant speed removal spell on Pinnacle Kill Ship. But for now, let's just white walk. I have to tap like this, no other way. Throw up free. And of 7. And just play the Galactic Wayfarer or play a Warmaker Gunship to blow out something. This can blow up this actually. But I think we're just fine setting up the board. And I'm thinking I'm like 99% sure this Pinnacle Kill Ship is gonna eat a Graph Kill. I think attacking is fine because I'm not gonna block the Sunstar Expansionist and let him draw 3 cards. Yep, that is eating a graph kill. I'm so smart. Okay, let us through, sure. In that case, they just miss all the damage from full cover. And now everyone gets a free spell. Hallelujah! Yep, they gonna see more options with the Recurrent Monolith. Play another land. Go to combat. Sunstar Specialist attack for 3. Leaving it back whole cover. No spells! Okay. Okay, they got 0 value from that. Think we just War Maker Gunship and push through damage for this turn. Like the idea, but before that, play a Ice Cave Pressure, because that's a cheapest spell. Play the War Maker Gunship and blow that up. Play a land, so this has 1 more power for the stationing. And they're done. Yeah, I think they just flooded like way too much. Maybe like 3 out of the 4 cards are lands, and the other ones they didn't even have an instant speed play, so there's a chance they just draw a land. Oh, that's pretty bad for them. Feel sorry for that. And yeah, after Web Walking, we just get a fresh hand of 7, and all of these are good cards. Still have a Germinating Worm for the Exile that we can cast by paying 5. Oh, this deck is sweet. And this will be our first trophy of this format. With this blue-green no signpost ramp deck featuring Web Walking, which I think I only cast once, but definitely pulled its weight in the time we cast it. And also War Maker Gunship, a super strong card that's worth the splash. Splashing is hard in format without the dual lands, but we have lander tokens and we are only splashing for the War Maker Gunship. So we are doing pretty good in splashing. And also, we had the hand of mono green lands with Gene Pollinator and Mecha Navigator. So as long as the Gene Pollinator is not removed, we can play the Mecha Navigator by tapping a land with the Gene Pollinator. Yes, this taps land. So at worst, it just helps you filter a mana. And then it starts ramping by tapping any permanent, include the lander tokens, include spacecrafts, even enchantment like Web Walking or Cryo Shatter. So it's pretty easy for Gene Pollinator to tap something and get an extra mana that way. Overall, a pretty sweet deck. And yeah, finally, this proves that I'm not stuck at this game or stuck at this format. I can definitely pull out a fight. Even though this is like a platinum instead of the mythic like last week. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this draft, and I'll see you in the next one.